Kick off our Meet the Press, Meet the Candidate series with Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, who could cause Hillary Clinton some trouble. Sanders is a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist. He was the mayor of Burlington, Vermont from 1981 to 1989. He served 8 terms in the House of Representatives beginning in 91. In 2006, he was elected to the U.S. Senate. Sanders says he's prepared to run for president and has spent time in New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Mississippi in recent weeks talking about what he's called the fight for economic justice. And by the way, unlike Jim Baker, this is Senator Sanders' first ever appearance on Meet the Press. And joining me now is Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent who caucuses with the Democrats. Let me actually just start with that, Senator Sanders. Are you about to switch parties? Are you going to become a member of the Democratic Party if you pursue this presidential campaign?
Well, I am the longest-serving independent in the history of the United States Congress. That's how I've always won in the state of Vermont. I am thinking about running for president, and the issue of whether you run as an independent, with the necessity of setting up a 50-state infrastructure, running as a Democrat, that's something that I'm looking at right now.
And it sounds like you've ruled out running as an independent?
No.
Or you have not? You could end up doing it that way.
One of the reasons I'm going to Iowa, get a sense of how people feel about it. Look, the truth is profound anger at both political parties. More and more people are becoming independent. The negative it is, how do you set up a 50-state infrastructure for running as an independent?
I want to read something that was paraphrased to you. It says, "It is essential," Sanders said, "to have someone in the 2016 presidential campaign who is willing to take on Wall Street, address the collapse of the middle class, tackle the spread of poverty, and fiercely oppose cuts to Social Security and Medicare." Is it safe to say if you thought Hillary Clinton were doing that, you wouldn't be considering this?
Well, A, I don't know that Hillary Clinton is running. B, I don't know what she is running on, but this is what I do know. I know that the middle class of this country is collapsing. I know that the gap between the very, very rich and everybody else is growing wider. I know there is profound anger at the greed on Wall Street and corporate America, anger at the political establishment, anger, by the way, at the media establishment. The American people want real change, and I've been taking on the big money interests and the special interests all of my political life.
But you say you're separating out. Are you separating out Hillary Clinton from this? If she were speaking more robustly on these issues, would you be thinking
Chuck,
about
the issue is not Hillary. I've known Hillary Clinton for many years. I have a lot of respect for Hillary Clinton. The question is, at a time when so many people have seen a decline in their standard of living, when the wealthiest people and largest corporations are doing phenomenally well, the American people want change. They want Congress. They want candidates to stand up to the big money interest. So let Hillary speak for herself. I know where I'm coming from.
I hear you. It's rail against this, and I think, boy, you must be unhappy with President Obama.
I think President Obama has done some very good things. I think the level of obstructionism that he has had to face is unprecedented in American history, and in some areas I very clearly disagree with him. I think he should have understood from day one that the Republicans were not going to cooperate with him. I think he should have gone to the people in a more aggressive way and say, you know what? The American people want to raise the minimum wage. We need millions of people to come to Washington, demand us to do that. Just can't sit in a room and negotiate with people who choose not to negotiate.
So you believe he's been right on most of his ideas. You just don't believe he has pushed them hard enough?
I think he has been right on some of his ideas. I was on the floor of the Senate for 8.5 hours because I disagreed with his continuing tax breaks for the rich, and I have a lot of disagreements with him. But the bottom line is I think he has not tapped the anger and the frustration that the American people feel on many, many issues. The only way we bring about change is when the American people become mobilized. In this coming election, you know what? 60% of the American people are not going to vote. The Koch brothers and the other billionaires are going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. That is not a way you bring about change. We've got to mobilize the American people.
Let me ask you on that billionaire front. Is there such thing as if a billionaire agrees with you on issues, are you okay with them participating in the process? Or do you think this entire process, whether it's Steyer or Michael Bloomberg or the Koch brothers?
Chuck, I think Citizens United will go down in history as one of the worst Supreme Court decisions ever. I think it is opening up the road to oligarchy in the United States of America, where the billionaires, like the Koch brothers...
Left or right?
Left or right. But it's mostly right. Let's be clear about it. It's not fair to give...
This year, they're spending more money.
It will always be. Look, the Koch brothers are going to spend $400 million. Do you know what their agenda is? Do you know what they believe in? Let me tell you what they believe in. This is what they told us. They want to end Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, more tax breaks for the rich and large corporations. Nobody in America wants that except the billionaire class. And yet they are now able to put hundreds of millions of dollars into the political process. This is a real danger to American democracy.
All right, you're headed to Iowa. I guess I'm going to ask it this way about the Democratic Party today. Do you think the Democratic Party is open to a progressive like you? Do you think the Democratic Party is closer to where you are or closer to where the Clintons are?
Let me shock you by saying this. I don't think it's just the Democratic Party. I think whether people are Democrats, moderates, or conservatives, there is a profound anger at understanding that the middle class is disappearing, that millions of people are working longer hours for low wages, that 95% of all new income has gone to the top 1%. Not just a Democratic issue. In Vermont, I get a lot of Republican votes.
Right. But I guess I'm going to ask you, where's the Democratic Party today? Closer to you? Or
I think anybody who speaks to the needs of the working class and the middle class of this country and shows the courage to take on the billionaire class, I think that candidate will do pretty well.
Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont, will be watching you. Stay safe on the trail in Iowa over the weekend.